Hello. Welcome back to our Rule the Waves 3 playthrough of Italy, starting in 1890, Mare Nostrum. In the last episode, we had some skirmishing, some tiny wins, some tiny victories, lots of draws, and now we're being pulled into a fleet battle. And this really might just be our last hurrah, our last chance to, um, really our last chance to break the blockade. We have to sink or damage enough ships that we knock them, like we can free the blockade for a while. Because that's our unrest is at 7 now. It's getting really nasty. Every time we try to ask for peace, the Warhawk party says no. So it's just a matter of I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna have to do it. So let's see what we get here. We are fighting uh pretty close to home. Very close to home, as a matter of fact, so we can retreat when needed. We've developed the Scout Force concept. Your scouting units will henceforth be grouped in a separate Scout Force directly controlled by you. If you do not want a Scout Force, you can disable it in the Doctrine screen. Okay, that's new. Well, we don't have control of any of these ships, so I don't know what they're talking about us being directly controlled, so I don't notice really any difference here. All right. Let's turn off the torpedoes. I'm gonna go to max speed, I guess. Max speed. We want to take control of the destroyer group here because this is 25 knots. We'll do 25 knots. Same thing here. So we're doing line ahead, turn off torpedoes, 25 knots, and here. So we do have a lot of destroyers. We have to figure out whether or not we can use that to break the enemy. Like, I don't know. Just wait for them to go into their line of battle and try to launch a strike. All right. So the important part here will be forming a proper battle line. Because look at what they've got there. That is a lot of those are battleships right there. Those are cruisers. More battleships. More battleships. 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 So we're gonna get our cruisers behind the battleships. We're gonna flank a little bit with the destroyers. We're gonna go to either side, either flank with destroyers, I guess. We don't want our destroyers taking the early shots. We'd rather the early shots be fired at like our cruisers and stuff. That, I don't want the cruisers being hit, of course. But the near misses won't hurt the cruisers quite as bad as they will the destroyers. Look at that. Now, that is so ugly. Okay, we just need to get out here like this. So now we turn north. That's a destroyer division. This is battleships. We turn north. So we're going to slow down to 19 knots, so we're going the same speed as these other battleships. And then these can only go 18, so they're going to end up lagging behind a bit. So I'm going to actually go a little bit southish with them. And now I'm going to turn them north, and they'll be lagging behind. In fact, I want to pull these battleships closer, and I'll move these battleships closer to the enemy because they have the 7-inch broadsides. Okay, it looks like those battleships are turning into us a little bit here. Oh, some Spanish divisions. See, these battleships are turning towards us now. I'll grab a drink of water. So this is a chance for our destroyers to come up now. I went a little bit too far with them, but that's okay. All right, let's turn north with these. Get these cruisers up to speed. We'll get these cruisers up to speed too. Turn off the torpedoes so I can manually fire them. And then we're going to hopefully be able to fire some torpedoes into this area here to hit these soon enough. Once we get up to battle speed, at least. All right, we may have to just fire now. For some reason, those cruisers are going real slow. All right, there's one. There's two. Would have been better if I had my destroyers doing this, but you take what you can get sometimes. All right, so no shots from the third cruiser. We're just firing into the battleships in general. There we go. And then I have another light cruiser that can do that. There's more light cruisers that can do that. Please go top speed. And then the battleships need to turn. Oh man, we got US battleships here too. And we got one more torpedo on this side with the Puglia. Puglia? Probably Puglia, right? Like pugnacious or pugilist. Well, fire. Okay. These destroyers are looking like they'll be in a good position. Oh, this guy took a rudder hit. Okay, he's kind of done. Can you at least fire off a torpedo? I think they're about. I think he detached. Okay. So this Armando needs to go home when he can. And all their battleships decided to do a turn, which is unfortunate. I don't know how none of my torpedoes down here hit at all. Like nothing. Okay. Well, we can still fire from up north here, do a little bit of an anvil attack. We have a battleship that's on fire. Not sufficiently damaged. Okay, lots of fiddle faddling around here. The Lombardia has a pretty decent angle for shooting down into these battleships. The Armando. The Armando needs to just get out of here. Meanwhile, we're slowly starting to envelop the enemy here. And we are hitting nothing with our torpedoes. Alright, well, we've kind of blown our load on a lot of our light cruisers, and we've done nothing so far. This looks like the Armando might get out of there. Alright, destroyers are close, so we need to maneuver a bit here. The Lombardia. Do I have torpedoes on my port side? No, I don't. So let's just go northish. And cut like that. And we're going to fire torpedoes down into this battleship line down here. And we're going to do it again. And then we're going to get the heck out of there. And we're hitting nothing with our torpedoes. Oh, hang on. Fire. 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 And we're kind of sacrificing our light cruisers a little bit to do this. We're getting exposed to that barrage of secondary weapons there. And I'm trying to select a different battleship each time, so we're spreading the torpedoes out, so we have hopefully a better chance of scoring some hits. This is just awful. Like, this is horrific. There's really just no way to win this. All right, you know what? We're gonna try to alpha strike this guy. All right, you know what? Yeah, let's just do it. Try to get one kill before we retreat to port. Honestly, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Yeah, oh, there we go. Yeah, he'll dodge all of that, of course. But let's maneuver a little bit in case they launch torpedoes at us in return. And we're just going to send both of these battleships home. Hang on. Let's see if we can at least figure out what these Charlemagnes are doing. Fire torpedoes. There we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. My kingdom for our old Imperial Japanese destroyers we used to run around this era. We're getting pounded over here. Are we out of torpedoes? We're not. But the enemy has dodged, so let's just turn away. Strale was hit. The Umbria was hit. The Umbria is done for. Well, let's pick the Strale and fire his torpedoes off at like anything. There you go. Shoot before you sink. You've expended all your ammunition, all your torpedoes, so we'll send you back to port. We'll bring these cruisers back. And those sort of look okay. Nah. I have no idea what's going on anymore. Well, we're hitting enemies in the back lines now. This battleship's just getting a pounding from our guns, which is kind of cool. But guns don't sink ships very quickly. And we need ships sunk fast, please. Of course, he magically understands that he's being targeted. And he starts to dodge. Bringing these battleships back down around. Let's bring these destroyers with them. Let's bring these light cruisers down. These battleships are trying to get home. These ones need to get back into the fight. We have lots of torpedoes left up here still. So let's get back in there. Gonna crank it up to max speed on some of these destroyers now. Yeah, we need maneuverability more than we need accuracy. I mean, this This battleship looks like it's slowing down. Yes, good. Good. So we're gonna fire our rear light cruiser at that thing, just try to put it out of its misery. And meanwhile, our own battleships are getting smacked pretty good. Cool. All right, so that's one dead battleship. Only like 8 more to go, and we're already down like probably below half strength in terms of damage taken and munitions. Like if we just had infinite torpedoes, trying to get my destroyers behind the battleships. There we go. And we went at the light cruisers. Actually, let's maneuver the battleships a little bit here. What's going on up here? Light cruisers versus a bunch of old battleships. So we're going to turn and go back. This one here isn't too badly damaged, so let's bring them back into the fight, I guess. These destroyers are out of ammunition. Yes, they are. So they're going home. This battleship is a, a light cruiser. Is I don't know. That's the one that took the rudder hit, so he's going home. This battleship's going home. That destroyer's going home. This battleship's going home, and this battleship's going home. And then we got the Calabria. We can bring it back down into the fight. And the Umbria is just crawling along here. He's flooding, but not too badly actually. If we bring him down to 6 knots, he might make it back. If he can get one more flooding control, he'll be okay. And we want these. Oh, now we got some heavy rain. That actually might be to our advantage here. Let's try to get these destroyers in closer now. Let's do it. Come on. I don't want high-speed torpedoes. I want torpedoes that are going to go into that crowd. All right, well, at least we pushed them back with those torpedoes a bit. All right, let's bring our. We got some torpedoes left on here. Let's bring our battleships back around, I guess, for another. I don't know. Let's just go home. I don't know what's going on anymore. We I don't know. The enemy, every time we launch torpedoes, they do an about turn. These destroyers here might very well get a kill if they catch anyone out. Oh, hang on. Or they might just die. All right, out of torpedoes. Run away. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. Do we have any more destroyers with torpedoes? We do. Let's turn them around. For some reason, these things are not obeying the proper formation. So this Spanish are down here fighting. Hang on, let's turn together, and turn it back off. Yeah, here's the Spanish. Oh, that's a friendly battleship. That's not good. That's bad. That's terrible. All right, well at least now I have 3 different destroyers I have to freaking micro. Jeez Louise. Uh, the goal here is to find some big ships that might do. Fire at the one in the back. There we go. And then get out of there. Get out of there. I mean, if anything else, we're trying to protect the Spanish. Although that's not really the goal. Hang on, that ship's moving kind of slow. She's moving real slow. Fire. Those are not the battleships I want to be shooting at. There we go. That was his last set of torpedoes. Alright, well, home, be gone, go. We'll have to see what happened. I am sure we sank a battleship, like a real battleship. But the problem is, how much is Spain throwing away here that's gonna mess with like the ship or displacement killed or whatever it is, like damage done? We're gonna find out. That's the Umbria. Can't believe it made it home. Nice. All right. Time to just wait. See what happened with Spain. See what happened with the French and the Americans. We might not have done too horrifically, but I think we're still blockaded. All right. I'm afraid to even click this button. So we lost 2 destroyers. We took heavy damage on the Spanish battleship that was there. Oh, nice. We sank 2 dreadnoughts and heavily damaged another. We sank a light cruiser and 5 destroyers. So ship loss differential is hugely in our favor. Let's check out the details. Yeah, this. Oh, cool. So heavy damage to a battleship. At least it didn't sink. So we got one of their 20,000 displacement big boys. We got an 18,000 displacement weird boy. That's like a very early dreadnought. And then we got the Charlemagne, which is heavily damaged. Uh, yeah, they lost two battleships. Cool. Exit the battle. We get two prestige for that, and we go up in victory points. Keep Bond, sure. Our unrest went down by a point. Only the Navy can win this war. Although it's looking like the Navy can't really win this war, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, we damaged a U.S. battleship with a thingamabobber. So the Spanish lost a light cruiser in exchange for a heavy cruiser, and we're still blockaded. Dang. But our ally adds some victory points. So we lost a point of unrest, which buys us some time. Check the almanac here. The French are slowly losing their battleship fleet, but the US more than makes up for it. Okay. Okay, let's have a little look see here. What's going on? Map. Have the French moved? No, the French are not doing anything in Northern Europe. Spain should be blockading them up there. And the US, man, the US have moved 313 points worth of blockade into the Mediterranean. Five battleships, five battle cruisers. It's like they're not even fighting Spain in the Caribbean or anywhere else. They just came to the Mediterranean. That is unfortunate. How do they operate? I guess maybe out of French ports? I don't know. All right, let's check the relations. Germany still doesn't give a single heck about helping us. We could really use, I mean, let's check out Germany here. 806, dude, you're the big boy on the block in this war. Like, you could really help us out here. All right, save the game, make a copy, have a little backup. Anyway, that's that. The last episode was I scheduled as scheduling here for December 7th. So that would be Pearl Harbor Day, right? Yeah. So belated salute to Pearl Harbor Day. But if you're still here, just know that I appreciate you, and I'm happy you choose me to hang out with, spend a little bit of your time watching this mess go down. And I will see you next time.